It's not playing, Brian. We already live.
All right. Very good.
Phone started jumping, what a day. Swear to God I need it, now I can't afford to wait. I just had a fan hit me up from Kuwait. Told him this would happen and we not a minute late. Seen him down bad, now they tryna hate. Same ones try to hit me for the raise. Got a mail, now they coming with a blaze. Check the numbers, fam, I swear I'm getting paid. I'm a don just like the Perrier. It's my time when I'm looking at a face. On the low like I'm pushing up the pace. Told him come down and I'll meet him at a gate. Got a check and I bought myself a place. They get some money and they blow it on bait. I don't flex but I'm pushing all the weight. Told them all I swear I got it's what it takes. Phone started jumping, what a day. Swear to God I need it, now I can't afford to wait. I just had a fan hit me up from Kuwait. Told him this would happen and we not a minute late.
Hi.
What
What's
it
up?
do? What it do? What it do? What's
How we
happening?
do? How we do? Anthony, you're already frozen. Oh no, he's not. Maybe not.
He's got a okay. He's coming back. He's catching up. He's catching up. Okay, that's good. All right,
All right.
fam. What's
People
up?
coming in. Welcome everybody. CC, you want to tell them about the YouTube?
Yeah, so Facebook right now is experiencing some issues that we cannot control. So if you're having issue watching on Facebook, go to at Live with CC on YouTube or at the Barbershop Podcast 25 to watch on YouTube for better experience. So if it's freezing up on you, if you're using Facebook right now, go to the YouTube, please.
Yep.
Frank, what's up? Did y'all reach out to Frank?
No, we have not. We will mention Frank. We will
Yes.
do that.
Well, see if Frank can come on with Zach. Send him a thing. See if he can come on later on. If because he should be out there, huh?
Did you say you did?
I mean, I told y'all like that, but I didn't know that he was.
We can't. I mean, you know what? There's so much going on. You know, we can't remember everything. But anyway, we got this.
Yeah. I mean,
Uh,
I remember we said it. I just didn't know if anybody did it.
yeah.
Dino Tech, what's up, buddy? How you
Some
doing?
kind of tech.
All right. So the weekend just passed. The Hillbilly was a smash. There was all kinds of people out there. I saw some very impressive numbers. We got some guys that laid it down. So we're gonna talk to them. Got some heavy hitters in here. Some heavy hitters. That's my Keith joint right there. Shout out to my boy Keith. Got them heavy hitters in the building.
And you know what, Drew? We even
What?
got somebody that don't ever do interviews. I don't know how. What in the world?
Yeah, you
What's
better
up
bring.
with that?
Y'all better bring him in for he lead the joint.
I
But
know,
bring
right?
him
You
in.
better bring them in. All right, guys, we're gonna bring on some people from. We're gonna talk Shadyside tonight, and let's bring them on and let's get the party started.
What's up, guys?
And here we are.
Oh, there he is. Look, he's still there. Amazing. Great job, guys. What's up, guys?
Good
Hello.
evening.
What's going
Timmy,
on?
Timmy, I gotta say this before we get started. You look a little nervous. You okay, buddy?
I'm fine, just tired.
No, he looks like that all the time. When I race him down in Southern Maryland, he looks the same. He don't smile much. He not a lot.
This is my resting bitch face.
That's what he looks like all the time. All right, so you guys were down at the Hillbilly. Just give us y'all's experience. How was it?
It was a lot of fun, except for the monsoon. But as far as the racing goes, it was a lot of fast times. It's definitely a learning curve for running on a completely prepped track as far as being sprayed down. The groove, in my opinion, I mean, the line was tight, but it wasn't it wasn't a mud bog or anything like that. So it was a little bit different tune to get off the line, but I think it was pretty good. I definitely liked it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All
you
right.
knock
And
it.
Ken, how about you?
Yeah, it was a great race. It's one of those things we don't do often, from no prep world running on a full prep track. It's the first time I've run one of these cars on a full prep track, so the learning curve was steep. So there wasn't a whole lot of time to learn what we were doing there. I've raced prep track forever, but with foam tire cars, and coming into that race, never running on a prep track with the outlaw cars, yeah, it was a challenge. It took a little while to figure out what we were doing and overcome the track. Something I definitely do again. Definitely something I don't want to do every weekend. It's hard on parts. It's hard on everything. But overall, yeah, it was a great race. Outside the monsoon, obviously, none of us can do anything about that. It'll make for good stories down the road about the time we were walking around barefoot and tents collapsing and sloshing through water. But yeah, it was a great time. It was a great race.
Sweet.
Lenny, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. You hear me?
What up,
Yes, I
Lenny?
can.
What's happening? Welcome to the show, my man.
And
Hanging out.
we were just asking the other two their thoughts. I know you and Ken had runner up in Friday's race, or well, I guess one and runner up, and just want to get your perspective and your input. What you thought? Okay, maybe not.
Maybe not.
Just for the record, guys, he's on a ship. He's on vacation, so
He left the track and literally went on vacation.
yeah.
So he won the race, the Friday night race. Race Saturday, I don't know what place he finished in, and then he got on the cruise ship. That's
Why
the
did you
life
let him
right
win,
there.
Ken?
Oh wow!
Trust me, I wasn't trying to let anybody win. No, he ran really fast in the final. I mean, I was at 1.30, and I was a 1.32. Got me a little on the tree. I mean, all credit goes to him. I mean, he was super fast even on Saturday, early in elimination, super fast. Yeah, I mean, hats off to him. He did what he needed to do in the final. I went up there, came up a little short, still made a few bucks. It was a fun race. I mean, it had been interesting to see if we would have had some more racers in it, but it's it's one of those specialty races, big dollar race, and yeah, I hope it's a common thing because it was a lot of fun.
Sweet.
Okay. Looks like AJ Marasco is asking you a question.
Tires are always waterproof, aren't they?
Yeah, might need to. So, Timmy, real quick, you're one of our local racers. You racers, I know you race. You race some down at Somod, but your home track or your base track, are you out there with Centennial? Is that your base track, or where are you based out of?
You might as well say Southern Maryland. We haven't had a race in the 410 since I think last year, so yeah, you might as well say Southern Maryland's my home track.
Okay. And so with that being said, I know you had talked about the grooves and stuff, and it wasn't that bad out there. How about the grooves in Southern Maryland? Is that like the mecca for some competition right now, where we see it?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of competition there. Well, hold on, let me back that up. There can be a lot of competition there if people want to travel there. The SE class probably sees 12 to 15 cars on a normal club race. Sometimes you might get a little bit higher if there's like a specialty race going on. But the groove there, everybody pretty much sets up in the same groove week after week. So it doesn't take much to for the groove to come back and turn into a mud bog. But that groove, it's the normal groove at Southern Maryland, is a lot worse than I encountered at this hillbilly race. And a lot of that has to do with the way they did track maintenance at the hillbilly race also. But
yeah,
I don't think they're top notch. What more can you say?
Oh yeah, it was awesome.
Freaking Zach got
They
it
did a
now.
fantastic job.
yeah. And I do think they're going to host a lot more races. I hope they do. I wasn't able to make it this time, but I was there for the first one, and it was amazing. So, all right.
All right, Ken,
Yep.
you had put a post up. I guess it was on your page, and you said you wanted to, I guess, give a little insight on a couple things. What did you see? I wasn't there, so I have to go back. What did you see? I want to get your insight on some things. What did you see that?
Yeah, I'm just not sure what all the crime was about or complaining, whatever you want to call it, about the prep. Track. I've been to, I don't know where we've been this year. I've been to Ohio, Decatur, GLD, and now the Hillbilly race. And at the end of the day, if you do proper maintenance on the track, that's all you need to do. We've been to all those races this year. A lot of racers. I mean, the Hillbilly race had the most entries by like 10 over Decatur. But proper lane maintenance for outlaw cars is key to what we're doing. The track maintenance there was spot on. You can't ask for any more. At the end of it, and scraping it, heating it, cleaning off the starting line. I don't know how much more you can ask for. I mean, yeah, they did it at the end of each round versus some of the races we were doing it in the middle of the round. Doesn't make a difference. The width of the lanes there, I believe they were like 15-foot wide lanes, and then you split it in half for dry tire cars and outlaw cars. It still gives you, let's call it 6 feet to work with, right? The track is prepped from edge to edge, so you could really run right up against the board if you wanted to, but you basically had an unlimited amount of grooves to put your car down, right? So
Right.
I don't know what the complaining is really about. I did, there was a couple of cars that left some snot on the track. It happens. Like you go up there, especially think about it on Saturday night, right? It rains. It's 8 hours between rounds, and people aren't sure what to do going back up to their track at 11:30 at night. I didn't even know what to do. I was banging my head off the wall with Rick and going, hey, we should do this. Maybe we should do that. So what happens? A lot of people underpower their cars, for that later night racing. It happens. When you do that, sometimes it lays extra glue down on the track. But it's not like it's a 2-groove racetrack. There's 6 feet to play with, right? You can put your car pretty much anywhere and go fast. I was picking and choosing different spots based on what I saw or where I was trying to put the car down track. I don't get what the complaining was about it.
But I'm assuming, like I said, I'm assuming that we're talking about the starting line. Starting line had an issue with it. But go back. Didn't Zach and them say it was open prep?
It is.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So that should take care of a lot of the.
Even with open prep, I mean, it doesn't matter as long as you maintain the track correctly. You can have all the open prep you want, right? We need to get rid of heavy prep. We need to do this, that, and the other. And I don't see where we're, at the end of the day, to me, in my opinion, I'm a racer. Okay. I go to a race, right? I don't drive across the country for quote unquote fun, right? I go to race, right? At the end of it, I hope I have some fun. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But at the end of the day, the outlaw class is in my opinion, it's the premier class, right? It's the fastest cars on the track.
Yeah.
Me as a racer, I don't want to go slower, right? Every time I go to the track, I want to go as fast as the track will let me go. And this constant talk of we need to get rid of prep, we need to get rid of this, and we need to go to PJ1, one coat, this and that. To me, it's a disservice to all the guys who are out there every weekend or 2 or 3 times a week testing to figure out how to go fast, right? Why are we out there trying to, a good majority of us spend time and money to practice and test to figure out how to go fast. And then to say, no, we need to get rid of it because, there's some people that struggle with it. Why should we neuter the best class, the fastest class out there to cater to everybody, right? It's simple. I mean, you got to if you're going to go to a big race like this, and I consider this a big race, like you look at all your end game races.
Yeah.
All those are what I would consider my drag racing career, right? Even all my years of running foam tire and drag racing since '07, there are certain races you consider big races, right? When you go to these big races, you should know what you're getting yourself into. You should know what the level of competition you're going to be out there with. And I'm not the one to, say, let's change it all up on the biggest stage we have just to make it easier, right? Everybody puts in their time and effort to figure this stuff out. Now in your local series, if you want to do something like that and that attracts racers on the local level, absolutely do what you have to do. But it's outlaw racing. This is the biggest stage of racing we have. I don't see a reason to start changing things and neutering the class to go slower. None of us want to go slower. We want to go faster. This year from the start of it, the outlaw class has been the fastest it's ever been, right? And maybe we find a point where we don't go any faster. That's fine. But at the end of the day, track maintenance. Do your track maintenance, put your homework in, go test, and you'll be fine. I mean, that's my opinion, right? Not everybody's going to agree with that. But myself and other racers, that's how we feel. But, at the end of the day, we can all agree to disagree and still be friends and be friendly at the track. And that's fine. But that's just my point of view.
Absolutely.
I
Timothy,
can't say
your take on it?
I disagree. I agree with that.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm reading comments here, and I see this, and maybe I'm jumping at it. Sorry. I see these comments about, years ago, around the time of COVID, that we had 300-400 entries, this and that. All right. Understand that when all this came out, no prep drag racing, all this was the biggest, shiniest thing people could grab onto, right? It was new, it was exciting, and tons of people got involved, right? But through progression, going faster, the work that takes to go faster, the equipment changes, the constant change, you're going to inevitably have bleed off where people are just don't have that level of dedication to put into it, or the knowledge base, or they're just like, this isn't for me. You're going to naturally start high and lose people, right? Everybody's saying, oh, it's dying. No, this is called, it is regulated itself. It is stabilized. On your big scene, you have your hardcore racers that are going to show up, right? I don't local race, right? I just don't have the time to do it. I have GLD's 10 minutes from me. They have a great bunch of guys that race out there. I don't get to do that. But on the big level, this is what you have. Okay, there's a reason that NHRA doesn't have 64 cars showing up to run top fuel, right? It is what it is. There's natural progression and die off in every racing, right? I don't care if it's on road, off road, everything, right? Especially when it's new and shiny. So I don't know why people will keep comparing to 4 years ago, 3 years ago. There's an evolution to everything. But that's just my opinion.
Do I detect or sense that you're seeing that it's going to go that way, or heading in that direction?
To lesser cars?
No, just to more of the spec prep deal.
I mean, if it works for you on a local level, absolutely go for it, right? But I like on the big stage, like our bigger races, I don't see why we'd want to do that, right? Nobody in the outlaw class that I know of that's traveling to all these races wants to go out there and go slower, right? And I know there's people like, oh yeah, I've run X amount fast on, one code of this and that. Okay, well, show up and show us that you can do it, right? If you can do it, and I mean, understand there's a difference between running 1.4 and 1.40 and 1.30, right? It's a huge difference.
Yeah, that's a big difference.
If somebody can come out there and do it on spec prep on 1 or 2 coats of just PJ1, hey, I'm all ears. I'll shake your hand if you can do it, right? But until then, I mean, nobody wants to go slower on the big stage, right? So I don't buy the we need to do this and that. Granted, people got stuck, right? And that can be contributed to a lot of things, right? Improper tire temperature, improper power settings, all kinds of stuff can make you get stuck at the line, right? I've done it where I didn't heat the tires enough to what I normally do. Car went out there and snapped an out drive. Did that against Rick in the final at GLD, or I think Decatur. It happens, right? There's a ton of variables that can make you go out there and do that. But changing what we're doing now, to me, on the big stage is not something I think we should even entertain.
Okay.
All right. So, well, I got a question for both of y'all because we're on to a topic here that's touching a lot of people in a lot of places. Okay. We have people that say like you said, Ken, they can still go fast with one coat and they can put down some impressive numbers. Then we have people that say the only reason we're using all of the prep and the stuff is to set numbers. We're number chasing, right? Because you're going for the faster number.
Yeah,
Now,
but sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead. Hmm.
But that's racer mentality. That is the racer at that's its core. If there's one person that says I'm going to chase that number and they can do it every run, well, if you're a racer, you have to do it, right? Or you're just going up there to do what, race for second? I'm not going to race for second, right? All it takes is the mentality of one person to say, I'm willing to do this to win, and then everybody else who wants to race is going to have to follow suit, right? Otherwise, you're not going to compete. It's no different than, for example, carpet oval, which I race in the wintertime. Yeah, I have to put a brand new set of tires on the car every single run. Okay. Not because I want to, it's because the other 10 guys I'm racing with or 15 guys I'm racing with are willing to do that, right? That's racer mentality. So
Okay.
all it takes is one, right?
I got you. Now, Timothy, you feel the same?
Hey, you have to do what you have to do to be the fastest. I mean, you got to put the work in, and if it's requires a lot of prep or whatever it takes, if you want to race at that level, you just got to be willing to do it. And not everybody's willing to do it.
Okay, right. Now, so here's the second part of the question. And again, there's a whole bunch of stuff out there. We don't even have to worry about that. We could talk about it like this because I believe you guys are true, right? You're right. But here's the thing that I see. The entries are dropping. Now, this is just me personally. So is it going to get to the point where there's not enough entries for you guys to compete at this level? Will that ever happen, do you think?
Yeah.
You talking about on a local level or
No, big race level. Big race level. Not your local guys, because most of your local guys now, okay, and I'll just tell you what I hear. And I've been out of it for a little bit though. I used to come down to Southern Maryland every time they had a race, but at your local level, sometimes or most of the time, you can't get the track to that level as a big race. And that's why a lot of people don't get the race on it. Because they go to the local level and they try to run those numbers and the track is not as prepped up as that. So they can't prepare for it.
the track doesn't have to be that prep. I mean, at Southern Maryland, I can run mid to low 1.4s with a SE car count of 12 cars.
Mm-hmm. Now, I've seen you do it. All I'm saying is, how do they practice? Okay, let's say you got your average local guy who wants to go to a big race. Right. He doesn't understand what you understand. How does he practice so he can get to that next level?
Well, that's the thing. You have to practice with people that are fast. If you practice with slow people, you're not really going to progress. And you have to ask questions.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, people ask me questions all the time about what I do, final drive numbers, how much boost, how much turbo I'm running. And I don't have a problem telling them. But you kind of need to pick somebody or a group of guys and stick with learning from them instead of asking 50 people, you get 50 different answers. Mm-hmm. And then you try to compile all the information and come up with something that might work, but most likely won't.
Yeah. At the end of the day, you have to, as a new guy or somebody who wants to go from a local level racing to top level racing, whatever you want to call it. I mean, Hillbilly is one of those tracks that you're not running across that everywhere, right? Those are unicorn tracks. We don't run on those, right, on a constant basis. But your local no prep track or whatever it may be, I mean, if you're new, you gotta attach yourself to somebody who's fast, right, and ask questions, right. Ultimately, at the end, you gotta jump into the pool, right, at some point and go to a race and go try it, right? We all did it at one point, right? We didn't know if we were fast enough, this or that. You just have to go at some point, right? You put in the practice, you put in the work, and get yourself to a level where you think you're ready, and you go. And sometimes it goes good, or sometimes you end up, banging your head against the wall. I did it for, Rick and I did for 2 years. We were banging our head against the wall trying to figure it out, and it's all finally clicked, and we're going good, right? But it's at some point you got to, jump in the deep end of the pool, and you're either going to sink or swim, right?
Yeah, y'all guys got the comment boxes jumping, boy. They is all over the place with this thing. So, okay, all right. So go ahead, Anthony. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I'm trying. I'm staying on top of these comments.
Oh, okay. All right. So we got that. All right. So you got your big races, okay, and you guys are not worried that the numbers are going to dwindle because you still are going to race, is what you're saying.
I mean, at the end of the day, the hardcore guys, as long as there's a race series and people are going to hold races and there's going to be money involved, the hardcore guys are going to go, right? Are you going to see 200 plus entries anymore? Probably not. You might see that 150, 160 total entries. So call it 60 to 70 entries times 2. I think that's the normal now, right? That's what we talked about going into this year was we're not going to see those crazy numbers anymore. The guys that, like we talked about, either just don't want to put the effort in, time, money, whatever it may be, have kind of dwindled off, or they've changed classes, which is fine. But at the end of the day, I think the numbers we see now are what you're going to see going forward. Hopefully they stay the same. I mean, they could fluctuate, but I think that's where we're gonna kind of level off at.
Okay, about 40. Timmy, you feel about the same? 40 to 50?
Yeah, we actually had a couple local racers from Southern Maryland. Mike McDonald, Stephen Grilly, Chuck Twisted Cycles, Carter. Well, he's out of Virginia, but he comes to a lot of Southern Maryland races. They've never been to a big race, and they came to the Hillbilly, and they did pretty good. They ran some of their best times they've ever ran. They seemed like they had a good time. I mean, you just got to make it fun. You go there to win, but you can't. What I want to say, you can't get wrapped up in just winning. You got to enjoy the whole experience.
Very true.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Very true. Yeah, and again, something else I just wanted to touch on. In the beginning, like Ken said, it's always about progression. Things move. The key word is everybody wants to get faster, and I understand that. And they found ways to go faster, okay? And there's a lot of new guys that came in, right? So when you look at it overall, you got, I don't know how to do it, but you got this part here and then you here. There's a lot of guys that came in here that when they learned or purchased a car or got with somebody like you guys, they don't know about the no prep stuff. All they know is to put a lot of prep on their tires. And that's because that's where they began. That's where they started from, right? Yeah. Do you think that is contributing to some of the track maintenance that's needed?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, to a degree, I think on the big level, we see we see the same racers a lot, right? We're racing with the same guys all the time for the most part. You get a couple new guys here and there. I seen that Hillbilly where I was in line. I'm like, wow, that's a lot of prep on the tires, right? More prep doesn't mean you're going to go faster, right? We're constantly adjusting how much we're putting on based on track conditions and stuff like that. There's no set number on anything, right? But yeah, I could see where some newer guys, they don't know any better. So there definitely needs to be some education and knowledge shared from the racers on like, hey, how to properly do it. But you also need to give people theories on why to do what they're doing right, rather than just saying, hey, do this, right? Tell them this is why we do it and this is what the benefits are, right? But yeah, I mean, to me, honestly, anybody who's getting into racing now, this is the best time to get into it. They missed all the years of, you buy a car and next week it's obsolete. You buy this, next week it's obsolete. And we did that for how many years? Because it kept going faster. And like how many people just got priced out of it because what they bought 2 weeks ago was no longer relative, right? But brand new form of racing and evolution that went super fast, right? And so, I mean, anybody who wants to get into it now, I mean, they really have, this is the best time to do it because you can just, all the car kits are competitive. They're all pretty much solidified in design where they don't need to worry about, at least, I mean, from our end, where we're going to go be like, hey, you need an $800 car the following year, right?
Yeah, and there's a lot of knowledge and information as far as setting the cars up that a lot of people put a lot of time and effort and money into figuring out. Now it's just, it's out there on YouTube. You can find all kinds of different information to get a car set up. You don't have to spend the weekends upon weekends trying to figure a car out. You can pretty much go online and figure out how to get something set up pretty well.
But you know what, though? I'm going to throw my input in here, and I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but 2 years ago, I had won like 8 or 9 races that season and then went on to win the Clash. And you know what? The one thing that I did do that I don't do as much now? Test. I was out all the time testing, and I don't have the time because I have a little one now, as y'all know, and that just and have priorities with family, but I don't have time to test like I used to. But when I test it all the time, it makes it much easier to adapt and overcome. And I know, let's talk about Rick. Rick tests constantly. People don't realize how much he's out testing, and it shows. Look what you guys have done this season.
Yeah, I mean, it's all relevant, right? Do you want to go fast? You got to put the work in. Rick tests a lot. I see the amount of parts I have to send him because we wear stuff out, right? We test so much, we trash parts left and right just because they just wear out, right? When you're hammering on stuff a couple times a week. Sorry, I'm plugging in my computer here. Yeah, I mean, you got to go test, right? If you want to compete at the top level, at some of these races, if you're not testing, I'm not going to say you're setting yourself up for disaster, but you should expect the results that you get, right? Because the guys who are out there running the fastest are usually testing pretty often, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And you have to be prepared for all situations.
Yeah.
Testing is so important.
ESC set is something that threw me. I'm not gonna lie, I had to get out because I couldn't maintain. Right. And it's true. You just can't maintain. ESCs, if I go through 2, that's a hurting, right? That's a hurting. Somebody went through 5 last week or this weekend. 5. That's crazy. That is a lot of ESCs. But again, if you don't know the formula, if you don't have the help, that is what's going to happen. So
yeah, I mean, nobody wants to see people blow stuff up, right? Nobody wants, people smoking motors and ESCs and this and that. But if you don't ask somebody, come up to somebody and say, hey, I'm struggling. What, can you come look? Yeah. I mean, I help people all the time, right? I'm not going to, like AJ's asking, I'm not giving you my 130 tune, but I'll give you something that'll get you down the track, right? That'll get you going in the right direction, right? Because nobody wants to see people getting stuck and blowing stuff up or anything like that, because then, we also want people to come race, right? So, the fellow racer, it doesn't matter what you're racing, you should help. If somebody's struggling or somebody's new, you owe it to the racing and the rest of the community of racers to help them along the way, right? Nobody says give them everything, but put them on the right path, right?
Okay.
And then let them figure it out from there, all right? But if somebody's just popping speed controls left and right, I mean, at some point, hey, come ask somebody, right?
Okay. All right. So let's see. Okay. Here's the question. I'm going to ask both of y'all. We're in the giving mood, right? Because we're giving.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Who said that? Okay. Let's help people with getting out of the prep. Let's help them with getting out of the prep. That's all I'm saying. Talk to us. So let's say we got a heavy groove. Okay. Heavy groove. What's the tire prep for you guys? Well, like how many coats? What would you use in heat? Is that something y'all can give away?
CC, go ahead and bring him on. Go ahead and bring Zach on. I don't want him to feel left out.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you exactly what I was running a Hillbilly. I was using the Red Monster Black Magic to
Okay.
kind of condition the tire. Then I put one coat of Subsonic on. When I was first running, I did one coat of Subsonic and then a coat of Orange Crush, and I was heating up to 155, 160, and wasn't having any problems. Later on, I switched over. I was still doing the Subsonic, but I switched over to a new prep that Rockwell came out with. It's not out yet, but we were testing it, and it worked really well. Same process, same heat, 155, 160. Never got stuck.
Wow. Okay. All right. And did you? So that was the formula before the monsoon and after.
Yep. I didn't
Okay.
change. I didn't change anything. Okay, so when I put my car away Friday, I was running high 130s. I want to say 136, 137.
Mm-hmm.
And Saturday morning testing, I kept the same tune, same radio settings, everything. Went out, and I believe I knocked off a 136 and then a 134 testing Saturday. And then I just parked the car till it was time to race. Didn't touch my tune at all the rest of the day. The only thing I did was turn up my radio here and there for the rounds, and that was it.
Okay.
Same ESC tune, everything, same gearing.
Well, that's
Ken,
better than
go
me.
ahead.
I was all over the map. I was trying all kinds of
Yeah,
stuff.
Ken, you're not gonna get off it easy. You need to be more detailed. than that.
No, I mean, it's not a straightforward answer. There's a lot of variables. You know, for me at first was we were trying to decide what tire to run, not what brand, obviously, but which compound, right? So you know, are the typical red tires we've been running on regular no prep races. I knew that was probably going to be too glued to the track. So started off with the pinks, you know, the harder tire. It's working good. I mean, Friday and Saturday were two different racetracks. They were not the same, at least in my opinion. But was also trying to figure out what to do on that track, right? So started with the pinks, was good. Like, well, I'm going to go to a harder tire because really I want the car to be in the track. I want it to be on the track, if it makes sense, like not stuck to it, but on it.
Mm-hmm.
So went to purples, which worked really good on Friday. That's what I ran against Lenny in the final. And, you know, prep kind of went with standard single base coat. Actually, I used like 4 different preps. I was just trying to figure out all Jeff's stuff, trying to figure out what I was going to use. When I ran Lenny in the final there, I had 1 coat of the Jay's motor oil as the base coat on the tire, and then I had 2 coats of spunk. That's what I ran. Going into Saturday, same situation, but I ended up changing tires back. Went out and practiced on Saturday, and the car spun both practice hits in the morning. So ended up going back to pinks, and pink hooked up. And yeah, I just ran pinks with never even tried purples again, but ran pinks with the same prep combo the rest of the night. Did change it a little bit later at night with adding an extra base coat of J's, just because, right? If basically, I mean, the theory behind running base coat, top coat, and I know people go crazy about it, but the top coat is to help you get off the line, right? It's usually something that's got it's thicker, but will release, right? It's not going to stay on. It's something that get tire speed. So the tire gets the speed, it comes out, you know, to get off the line, but then your base coat is what keeps you hooked up the rest of the trip, right? And that can vary based on temperature, you know, track conditions, stuff like that. But that's I mean, the general theory of what we're doing.
Okay.
So did you run the black phone?
No, I ran purples the entire weekend. So did pinks on purple on Friday, purple on Friday. Saturday, I did pinks on purple for the first round eliminations. Going into the post-monsoon part of the race, I didn't know what to do because, you know, we were looking at the track and guys are like, oh, it's going to be super fast. And I'm like, I don't know if it's going to be super fast. And I really don't want to go out there and spin, you know, and lose an entry really early. So I went all the way back to the normal no prep setup that we would run like anywhere else in the country on a regular roadway. Red tires, detuned everything. Racer went down the track, no issue. It was slow. It was a 144. It wasn't anything to write home about. But once we saw a couple people running, 38s, 39. I think Luke won a 39. I think he was quick for the round. Then it was okay. Go back to the pinks, but then just slowly started putting the power back into the car, and it was picking up every round after that.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good information for those who didn't have it.
I would have thought black bones. Okay.
Now, I do have a question with your FDR. Did anybody go up an FDR? No.
Ran the same 102.26 I ran all year, every track. Didn't matter.
Went up. Just go ahead.
Oh, sorry, we didn't even contemplate changing gear ratio. Everybody, you can walk by and see our cars. You can see the 102 on the spur gear and 26 on the pinion. It's the same since we've been running since Miami, the first race we went out to this year. Didn't feel the need to change it at all.
I went up just because I figured that the top of the track was going to be a little bit tighter. So just to kind of give the ESC a bit of a break, I went up from a 1092 to 1105. But I run the 38 or 32 pitch gears. I want to say it was a 1668 or maybe a 15, whatever 1105. I think it's maybe 1568.
Both of y'all running the new ESCs, right? The R1s.
Yeah, I was running R1.
No, the new, the upgraded V2 version, whatever it is.
I've got You'll laugh at this. For up to this race, the ESC that's been in my car is from 3 years ago. I've had the same speed control for 3 years. It's an old original R1 serial number, whatever, on the side of it. It's literally, I had it for 3 years. The only reason, I still have it. I actually have two of them. Ran, like I said, one in my backup car, but this one has got one's got 2 years worth of running, one's got 3 years worth of running on it. I just got a new Nick Bell speed control. The only reason I got one was just because watching Rick's car and looking at the graph after the fact, his speed control was running cooler than what mine was, probably by solid 20, 25 degrees. So does it equate to anything on the track? Yeah, I mean, can't say, but does it equate to a longer life? Maybe. So I had Nick do me up 2 new speed controls with all the epoxy, and just based on it being, what the data logger shows of being cooler at the end of the run.
Sweet.
Okay.
Zach, how you doing, sir? Didn't get to get you up in here. We got all tied up. How you doing? Hey, track maintenance was excellent. So big ups to you on that, for real.
Yeah. Thank y'all. It seems like a lot of guys enjoyed it, and it was awesome last year, and we had more than double the entries this year, and it still worked out. I mean, it got sticky. I blew my shoes out scraping it, but it is. Great. The racers were able to do what they do best and go fast, and it was awesome. So
yeah, it was. So we saw pictures of the extended track maintenance this year, which was pretty awesome, dude, for you guys to get that track back up. That really shows y'all know what y'all doing. So
yeah, that was definitely the worst rain we've had in a long time. It was bad. It was bad.
He was going to be in touch with you for hurricane relief soon.
Yeah. You're going to be the man. So here's the thing. Everybody wants to know when you're going to stop big car racing and open that up for, full-time RC racing.
Yeah. Man, it's like Ken said earlier, the race is cool, but it's hard on parts, man. I don't know if racers want much more than maybe the Clash a year. Really, we tested on it 2 years ago to make sure we was going to be able to do it. And we smoke transmissions and stuff. And you're just putting so much power in the car. And even to run like ETs that you run on a normal road, you got to go beyond that to run that down. Mm-hmm. It's an insane amount of power, and people don't realize it. You put so much power into the car to get on top of the track because you don't want to get in it. You want to stay on top of the glue. If you can stay on top of the glue, you can ride out. But if you get down in it, it takes so much power, and it's just unreal. So it's hard on components. It's really hard on parts, transmissions, driveline, tires, just all of it. So I don't know that racers could pocket a whole lot of them, you know.
Well, just real quick, Timmy and Ken, did y'all go through anything?
The only thing I had to do was change my axles, which they were twisted before I even got to the track. They were twisted from the last race in Southern Maryland. So
Yeah.
after first round, I switched them. But other than that, I didn't have any other issues.
Yeah, Friday, well, we ran all Friday, so our practice hits and then our high roller stuff. Then going into Saturday, we had a couple of practice hits in the morning. I changed transmissions after that. I just had a spare transmission ready to go just because we know from running at Rick, especially Rick running at Pontiac in Michigan, how abusive that track is on transmission parts. Nothing breaks, but everything. There's definitely a point where you have consumables on high power on tracks where you can really lay the power down, and this was definitely one of them. So before going into eliminations, just put a fresh transmission in the car. Spur gears I think we're doing every like 3 runs. We were just putting one on just to be on the safe side. Because the amount of, like Zach said, the amount of power that we're putting in the car you'll never put that much power in the car anywhere else ever. There's literally, there's the amount of power we're putting in the car. If you try to run that at a regular no prep track, you'd probably make it 2 inches and knock the tree off the stand. It's not going anywhere. So it's rough on parts. I took my transmission. I peeked at the transmission just to take a look at it after I swapped it out before eliminations, and most of the teeth on the idler gear were starting to roll over. So race like that, you're gonna have to do maintenance and swap out some parts if you're running fast times.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, when Lucas sent me a picture of the his tent, and I was just kind of like, oh my gosh! So I know it was a bad rain and wind.
Yeah, it was bad. It was so bad. One of our drain tiles got backed up, and it was flooding past the Jersey barriers on the left side of the racetrack. And I actually took folding tables and carried them down there and redirected the water back off of the racetrack. Like, it was that bad, back under the other Jersey barrier into the next culvert down. Like, it was rough. It was one of the worst rains that we ain't had no rain like that since the hurricane come through. It was rough. So, and it just kept raining. Like, it started raining like 3:30, I think, 3:45, something like that. And then it just didn't stop till 7 o'clock. It just, they wasn't calling for none till 6. And we was rolling with it. We was about to go into, we was almost done with first round completely. And then the rain came. I was like, man, I had 2 guys. There's like, you gonna call this thing and just divvy everybody's money out? I'm like, bro, I said, I can drive this thing in about an hour and a half, and we can go back racing. And I said, if we was farther in the rounds, and I would have definitely split. We could have definitely split and quit. But it's like, dude, we hadn't even completely finished first round all the way. So didn't want to split and quit. Yeah, I feel like I owed, all these racers. Like Frank flew all the way out there from, Arizona. Jason came from Texas. Ken and them came from Illinois, Wisconsin. I know how far that trip is because we just made it a month ago, So, like, we owe it to these racers to try to get a race in. So, like, you can't. So we couldn't just divvy all the money out. It's when you go to a big race like that, it's like our King of the South race we had in May, the Ronnie Buff Memorial. I told people before, they're like, what happens if it rains? I'm like, these races don't rain out. You don't let them rain out. You try to get as much in as you can until you just have to give up. Like, that's exactly what you do. You just keep pushing forward till you can't no more. And that's what we done, and I think some people were appalled, that we done it. I think some people were ready to go home, but I feel like hindsight, I would do the same thing again, 10 out of 10. I would do the same decision.
Was that, can you give us some numbers, entries and all that stuff?
Yeah, 100%. We had 82 cars in Outlaw. So that's 164 in just Outlaw, counting double entries, which is more than double last year. Pro Stock, we had 20 cars in. We had 30, so 16 in each bracket. And then Dry Time Outlaw was 25, so we had 50 total. I had 246 cars total is what I had.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
That's not bad at all.
that was and I probably cut myself short on entries because I didn't let any outlaw guys enter pro stock, and I done that to kind of help speed the show up, and also I really think RC drag racing needs a beginner class, and a lot of people say bracket is it, and bracket's tough around our area, dude. Like you got guys going trip, they'll go double O on the line and then trip zip on the end. Like you can't beat them. Yeah. Like that's not a beginner friendly class much so either. And some guys want to run heads up. Like I hate shunning beginners saying, well, you just need to go on the bracket, like because some people want to run heads up. So I kept pro stock as kind of our beginner class down here. A lot of kids run it. A lot of the racers' wives run it and stuff like that. And just try to get new people into the sport. That's what's gonna make sure we have longevity.
That sounds good. Yeah.
Timmy.
Dustin says thank you.
Timmy.
Yep.
Yes,
No
sir.
problem. Like I say, 10 out of 10. We'll do it again for y'all.
I don't want to hold you if you got to go. If you had any last remarks, please go ahead and get them in because I know you got to work tomorrow early.
Nah, I don't really have much more to say. Definitely look forward to going to the Hillbilly again next year if it goes down.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, Zach did a hell of a job trying to keep the race going. It's a great venue to have a race. Everybody that I talked to enjoyed themselves, so I don't know. It's a fun time.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Any questions for me before I go?
Let's see. Anybody got any questions for Tim? Well, I got one for you. I know you a heads up racer, but are you ready for this bracket race? The big one?
I'm not sure if I'm going to go to that, honestly.
What? Man. I tell you, these heads up guys, they don't ever want a bracket race. That bracket race money be looking good, though. It's going to be about 5-6 G's.
There's going to be some good barbecue at that race.
Oh, okay. Are you in charge of that?
Nah, I'm not in charge of it, but there's a barbecue guy. He parks his rig at my work. We let him plug up our electric and stuff. He's been to at least one, if not two, of the Southern Maryland races, and then people seem to like the food. Everything he's got good stuff.
Okay. Oh, and Aaron wants your FDR. I think you said it was 1056, and then you went to 1102.
It was a 1092, and then went to 1105.
There you have it, Aaron. He's giving it away.
Aaron, remember now.
Nah, he's asking because I'm the one that usually asks everybody what the final drive is.
Oh, he's trying to be funny. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I missed those. I didn't get my cake balls. So Zach, can y'all send me mine? My cake balls. Y'all have? Do you?
Yeah, I got like 4 dozens. Yeah, I loved them. I did. I was up there talking to Sandy, and I'm like, Sandy, just take my money, and I just kept ordering so I could talk to her. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's an excuse.
Well, I need my red velvet, and then my Oreo.
That's all
and then I usually get the pink one she had. God, I missed that. Anyway,
any other questions for me?
Anybody? Brian?
Do you want to shout out your sponsors before you go?
Yeah, Steve Larson at Red Monster, Tom Rockwell, Rockwell RC, and Tommy Giovi at Fast Pace Bearings.
Was you working? I got a question. Was you working with Centennial?
What's that?
Was you working with Centennial?
Yeah, me, Centennial, and Dino, we were all sharing information.
Okay.
That's a fast group. I heard Centennial laid it down too. Heard he had a couple
I think
of
he
good
did
passes.
32 or 31, I think.
Yeah, I think he had a 31 in there. Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
And I was on the same set of Accelerate Reds with red foams. Same set of tires all weekend. Those things were money.
Sweet.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a strong team up there in Southern Maryland too. They're pretty strong. I know Dino from Florida though, but yeah, you guys are doing your thing. So big ups to y'all.
Thank you.
All right, sir.
Tim, thanks for coming on, man.
Good
Yeah,
seeing you,
man.
No
Tim.
problem.
See you in a couple of weeks.
All right, man. Everybody have a good night.
Yep,
All right,
you
Tim.
as well.
Bye.
All right, Ken, he's gone. Give us some more information.
Come on, Ken. Tell us the secret right now.
Y'all terrible.
It's
I'm gonna
rude.
tell Tim y'all said that, man.
Yeah, it is rude.
Just-
No secrets.
Okay, so
Uh,
I have a question about your tune, of course.
Sure.
Your first ESC was what?
Varied anywhere between 55 and 60.
So that's like way higher than normal, of course.
Only by a couple points, maybe. Depends on, I mean, it depends on the track, really. I mean, it depends on what groove. I mean, it depends on if you're running on tape, if you're not running on tape. But, anywhere from 50 to 60, depending on where you're at, tape, how heavy the groove is. But it's also relevant to, what radio you run and, and the rest of your settings and your speed control,
Yeah.
But, I mean, I don't think those are really secret numbers. I helped quite a few guys with their tunes, and they're all in the, 50 to 60 range. I don't think you need to be any higher than, 60. I've seen guys as high as 75, and I'm like, well, you need to bring that way down. It just doesn't make sense to have stuff that high. But that's with R1, obviously. I've never looked at a Ghost speed control, never had one in my hands. I've never looked on the, the programming. I'm not sure about those.
Okay.
So we got the gear ratio, the tires, and now we got a starting point. Let's see here.
You what you got, Brian, is a bunch of stuff that you might be able to decipher.
Yeah.
Okay. You might be able to, but we're gonna get on you anyway. How you gonna come out here and talk that smack to Kenny? You ain't even make it. Boy,
Yeah.
Hey, you can tell by my voice. You can tell by my voice. I haven't been the best. Feeling the best.
Is that what it was? Okay. All right, we'll let you slide on that one. Okay, Zach. So we know you the premier track guy. What about your racing program? Are you going to make it out to a couple of races? I guess 2026, or what are your plans right now?
Yeah. My next race I'm going to hit is probably going to be the Clash, and they announced that it's going to be spec PJ. So, and that's going to be held at our track. So my wife Kayla and Jay Kennedy's going to do race directing on it, and then I'll be able to race on it. So plan on racing the Clash, and I think that's about it the rest of the year. I was going to try to make Vegas, but I just can't. I'm not going to be able to switch this year with schedule and then monies and stuff like that because it's a lot of logistics for us. We have to fly in and find tables and generators, and it's going to be a lot to get out there. But it's Super puts on an awesome race out there, and that's one that I would love to go to. But then definitely, I guess after that, anything local. I mean, local-ish, of course, as long as it's within 8 or 9 hours and my schedule's open, we'll go to it, man. So just have to keep an eye out and make sure, and see what's out there. But I definitely love the race, and everybody's on the topic of open prep, spec prep. Man, I'll race anything. You just let me know what it is where I get there, and I'm in. So
you don't. Either way, it doesn't bother you. Whatever you make it, just let me know before I get there.
Yeah, and I'm definitely stronger, I'd say, in the open prep right now because that's what that's what we've been focusing on so much. But I'll run whatever. I don't care. Like I say, I just want to race. We started my first big race. It's like Ken said earlier. He said something about you just got to go there and jump in the deep end. And like my first big race was that last race Scotty Ernst did at GLD. And dude, you want to talk about jumping in the deep end? That was my first race ever on prep. And had it not been for Nick, who is one of our best friends now, helping me out a little bit, and I'd have been left way in the dark, And that's all it takes, man, is just somebody willing to give just a little bit of information. Like he didn't give me a ton. Like he didn't come over there and set my car up for me and throw his tune up in my ESC. Like he didn't do none of that. You need to do this on FDR, and then he's like, this will be a good starting point for you. And then I picked his brain on some other stuff. I think I wound up going to 151. Now, that weekend there was some guys dropping bottom 40s and high 30s. But I was happy to go bottom 50s and even just make it. My car went A to B every time, and I was like, hey, that's great. You know, for my first outing, that was great. I made it into second round in B bracket, and then I was happy. I was like, that's a good showing, you know. So I was pretty happy to go up there and just make it as far as I did. And then after that, man, I was hooked. You know, like we mostly started dry tire racing, and then all it took was that first few trigger pulls of a prep car, you know, to like you touch the trigger and it's already 6 or 7 foot out on the racetrack. It's like, man, this is where it's at. You know, like it's like so it's you just can't stop, you know.
I got you.
Nice.
Mike Garland asked Ken, what new stuff is coming out for the Maverick?
So there was a lay down transmission conversion we just put out. Kind of like briefly talked about on the last show when I was chiming in. Yeah, lay down transmission was just released. Has obviously lay down. Has a 39 tooth idler in it, so you can take that and bolt it right into the current Maverick. If you want to run the transmission support, or sorry, not transmission support, the motor plate support, you'll have to drill a hole in the chassis plate at the moment. I will say that on regular no prep racetracks, we don't run the motor plate support at all. This was the first time we actually used it. Was at the Hillbilly race, just because we felt like we just wanted to stiffen everything up as much as possible, just to take any chance of, you know, deflection in the transmission or anything going on where we might break a spur gear or anything like that. But we typically never run the motor plate support. So if you do decide to run it, you'll have to pop a hole in the chassis plate for the current 24 car. The 26 car, which we're basically Rick and I are running now. Not much different than the 24 car. The transmission is the biggest thing with being laid down. Performance wise, I don't really see a whole lot of performance difference in the lay down transmission versus the current transmission. The one benefit they do see with the lay down transmission is the wear on the gears internally is better with the bigger idler. Performance wise, I don't think. I mean, Rick ran the lay down transmission. I ran the current transmission. We both ran the same times. It's just the wear is better on the lay down transmission. In addition to that, on our cars, we have the new shock tower with shorter front shocks. That once again, not a performance issue. Doesn't provide any additional performance. It's more for body mounting. So shorter front shocks in the front, just for guys who want to run Corvette bodies, can really get the front of the car down. Other than that is it. The 24 car versus the 26. Obviously, there wasn't a 25 because we decided to spend the year testing parts and pieces rather than just throwing something out there. There's not a huge difference. Like I said, front shock tower, front shocks, and lay down transmission. That's it. It's the only difference you'll see between a 24 and 26 car. And we're still a few weeks away from putting that out, waiting on some shock shafts to be finished up for the front shocks. But other than that, I mean, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Like, we're super happy with the car. It works everywhere we go. Since last year into this year, I mean, we run the car's box stock right out of the kit. Minus we throw, get rid of the steel bearings, put ceramic bearings in the car, and we run it. So as we are not broke, don't fix it. That's our motto, right?
Yep.
The tracks y'all been running that day, you've been running the reds, haven't you?
Yeah. So I mean, we started the season off with whites, and then the reds came out. So Decatur, GLD, other places we've been running reds since we ran the reds very little at the Hillbilly race. We just felt they were too stuck to the track for what we were trying to do. But yeah, reds the entire season. We are working on a gold, we'll call it, next durometer up from the reds. So it's basically a replacement for the current pinks. So we're working on that. We just got the sample tires in, so we're going to get those out to the track and test on them, because there are guys who like the little bit stiffer pink compound, but we're replacing that with same style rubber that we're using with the reds, but just a stiffer durometer to mimic the pinks.
Oh, good point, Jeremy. The pin bulkheads.
Yep, all the 24 cars that have been going out for probably 6 months or more, they've all have pin parts in them. Bulkhead, transmission risers, A-arm mounts, they're all the pin style. Those have been out for quite a while.
Okay. There you have it.
Yep.
Do you have a price point for the 26 cars? Or is it going to be about the same?
Yeah, should be in that. Should be like $599 right there, retail price. So I haven't done the final numbers on it, but I'm still shooting for that $599 retail price.
Okay.
You know, I know like the linkage, a lot of that stuff is considered. Is that going to be considered an upgrade in the 26?
No, actually, so I didn't mention that. The 26 car is going to come with titanium tie rods. You know, they'll just be a plain raw finished titanium tie rod, but yeah, those will be standard in the car kits.
And the linkage ends will be the upgraded ones.
Oh yeah, just using a more of a captured ball cup style. Yeah, that'll all be in there. Like I said, if you looked at my car, I put that. I was the first to put the different ball cups on there and the titanium tie rods. It takes a little bit different spacing in the front for the FBM links that raise for the crossbar. We just have to add a little shim in there just because the ball cups are a little bit wider. But yeah, that'll all be standard.
Okay. I didn't know if that was going to be considered. You had to buy that separate.
Nope. Yeah, like I said, I mean, the only thing you would really upgrade on the car would be if you wanted to change the bearings and if you wanted to go to aluminum or titanium screws. Other than that, the car comes loaded with all the goodies in it.
Okay. Mike Garland asked, would you be able to swap the front shock tower and put it on a 24 from a 26?
Yeah. So I have the shock towers here. Just haven't currently put them on the website because we want to make sure we have all the shock parts to go with them because they are for the shorter shocks. It'll be called a medium length shock for the front. Front shock tower fits the current bulkhead, so you can put it on basically 23 car, 24 car. It'll fit all of it. But you just have to change. Just have to go to the shorter shock. That's all.
But I thought at one time we were getting away from the short shocks.
You know what? So we played around with shorter shocks 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Because that was a trend that everybody was doing, and all the other car manufacturers stayed with it. We didn't like it. The reality is the front shocks aren't as critical as the rear shocks. So just going to the shorter front shock to allow the better body mounting is a benefit. On the back of the car, there was more, put it this way, there was more cons than pros when we tried it earlier in the year. So we're not changing the rear shocks. We're going to stay with our long shock that we like. And the front short shocks are fine. That's, like I said, more for body mounting purposes.
Okay.
Can Jason Beam asked if there's a break-in process for the Reds?
Yeah. All of our tires that we run, we sand them. We sand them a lot. So Rick does all the sanding on the tires, basically taking I don't know if I have one in the shop here, a CRC gold sanding paddle. Duragrit, actually Duragrit. You can look up Duragrit online. They sell all kind of abrasive products. So we take one of their sanding paddles that's got I don't remember the grit on the two sides. One's a fine, one's a coarse, but the coarse side, and we sand the tire. I mean, we sand it good. Like the entire seam is gone off of it. Get it sanded up real nice. This way it helps the prep adhesion to it. Then after they're sanded really good, right now we like soft and grippy for the red tires. So we do a coat of soft and grippy and put them away, and that's it. If we got a set of tires we're taking out that's been sitting for a long time before race day, we'll hit them with a coat of soft and grippy, and they tack up real nice, and that's it. We just do it the one time at the beginning if it's a tire that's been sitting around.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Oh, good information. Good information. Yep, Frank. Yep, hit a 129. I think was it a 129?
I seen a 128.
128.
Yeah.
And then he hit a 128, 129. He was in the 1.3s just consistently, 131 constantly. He was on it for sure.
Yeah. He's always fast.
He is always fast. But honestly, the racing that I saw this weekend, it was just like a lot of people, probably like I would say 70% of racers were in low threes. Like it was.
There was a lot of 30s. Yeah.
Yes. And then dry tire, I think the fastest pass was what, 145?
Yeah,
Zach?
Tommy went 45 and tested on Friday. Yeah, and then
Who did? Who did?
Tommy
Tommy
Burgess.
yeah, and we had a bunch of them in the 50s. A lot of guys in the 50s in dry tire, but that's prep track, you know. And I know some people are like, "Well, it's not dry tire if it's on prep surface." Well, it's your dry. You're racing the track, bro. It don't matter, you know. I've raced tracks where we went 2.0s. I've raced tracks where we went 1.7s. You race the surface you got. You know?
You race the surface. Yep.
There was, I mean, I feel like there wasn't really slow cars out there. It was just either you're fast or you're not making it down the track. Honestly, I didn't see any like insanely slow passes.
Yeah, which was something different from this year. I noticed from last year is last year there was a lot of guys that a lot of cars still went down the road, where this year it seemed like a lot more people were gunning for it, especially after Frank went to 28, you know, and then it was like everybody just whipped them up. So then it went from most cars making the trip to some were upside down before the 6 foot clock, you know. So everybody was gunning for it.
Either overpowered, underpowered, or too much prep, or
yeah. I think a lot of them honestly just wasn't used to that tight of a racetrack, and they overpowered them a little bit. They, you know, you could put the power to the car, but you also didn't have to hit it as hard like you was in a mud hole. You know, like you could let the car roll out, so and use that ramp speed. But it's all a learning curve, man. It's a one of a kind race that it comes around once a year. It's like the fair, you know. The town, got to get to it, and then you wait till next year. So it's a unique race, and I love it. And I think a lot of other people do. So
I think a lot of people like it, but like you said, it'll be too hard to race on that more than once or twice a year, right?
Yeah, it would. I seen somebody comment earlier about if we was gonna have we thought about building a purpose-built track there, and we have. Right now we just don't have the funds to do it. I mean, really, be honest, I figured it up. I think we could build one for about 25 to 30 grand, you know, and it's not terrible, but honestly, we stay so busy at the drag strip on the weekends that I don't know that I could run it, you know. So then I'd have to get somebody else to run it, and they may not run it the way that I want to run it, you know. And I feel like that's another thing that kind of makes the Hillbilly special is it's me and Kayla and, you know, the Shadyside crew. It's me, Kayla Lowe, and my brother, you know, and, you know, it's the family that helps out. I think that's what makes the Hillbilly kind of special also, is that it's us, not just, you know, not just another race, and no offense to anybody, but it's something different, you know. So I think that's what makes it kind of special also.
100%.
Yeah, I think if you race that, if that was a racing on prep track all the time, I think it'd take the specialness away from it, right? Because we were like, all right, this is something different. We're kind of excited. We're like, hey, what are we gonna do? We're trying to think of what we're gonna do. Like, you do it all the time, it's gonna be one of those you're gonna get bored of it. You know, it's nice to do a special race where it's completely different than we do all the year long. So you know, and everybody's like, oh, well, you should be, you know, it should be easy to run 1.2s. It's not easy to run 1.2s. You know, it's obviously Frank ran a handful of them, and it's super awesome. It's not easy. I'll tell you what, it's super hard. I mean, we kind of commented at the beginning when we made our first runs. I'm like, shit, we run faster on the no prep tracks than we're running here. Like we gotta figure this out. And it took a while, but even at that, you know, you have unlimited. I mean, I don't want to say you have unlimited amount of traction, but you have so much of it, it makes it harder. You know, it's a challenge. And if like anything else, if you did it all the time, you'd conquer it, and you get to a point where you're stuck. You're like, you're not going to go any faster, and then it'd just be the same thing over and over, rather than that once a year, you know, making it special kind of race.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you look at the times last year, I think we had 2 guys in the 30s last year, and it was Nick and Ryan Clay. And
I think they were like what, 135,
136, I think was the fastest And I think Ryan won a 36 with a 1. I think Nick won a 36 with a 9 or something like that. And but that was the 2 fastest guys last year. And everybody else was, that was fast. It was 41, 42, 40 flat. But then this year, the amount of people that was in the 30s, I lost count. So just from one race and then coming around to the second year, it sped up that much. And we had somebody get in the 20s. So it's like the race almost sped up a 10th on average or more in one season, and like it's going to get ridiculous next year, So
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's just it's like Ken said, like it would almost get boring, like you would get to the point where you kind of plateau, and then once you we go to these other roads, and sometimes we're trying to put bite in the car, and we're trying to take power out, and like we almost got too much power sometimes, and then it's like you go here and you're like, crap, now I got to find power, like I need more power, and you're like, where can I put it in at? So it's definitely a unique style racing, and it would get I think the sport would really plateau if we done it all the time. It would.
I got a tech question here. Ken, was you running the 8K or 10K?
So running 10K.
What kind of voltage drop?
So 7.2 on the back end, 7.1, 7.2 through the traps is what we see with the 10K.
No, what was your lowest drop, and then what did it drop to? This always
the worst, like at the finish line.
No, like during the run, how to dip.
Yeah.
But then
lowest. What I check. So the only place I check voltage drop is at the beginning and at the end of the run.
Okay.
So the start of it and at the end, and the 10K we stay 7.1, 7.2 from start to finish. Now, granted, when we were racing later in the night, it dropped down to 6.9, which was to be expected because it was cold, right? So everything is colder. It's going to drop a little bit, but normally 7.1, 7.2 we see with 10K all the time.
Yeah, y'all wouldn't heat your batteries.
No, don't heat batteries. Nope. Don't even take them out of the car. Stay in the car the entire time.
Wow.
But yeah, 7.1, 7.2 is normal. Like I said, it gets cold. You expect to see a little bit fall off. So when I saw 6.9, and I was also the run that I did see 6.9 on, I was also running the red tires, which bogged the car down because it spun about 10,000 less RPM. So it's a lot of load on the car. So, I mean, it's just one of the, when it comes to 8K, 10K, I would have liked to try the 8K there, but we were trying to figure out what we were doing first off, because, not running on the track, that type of track, we had to figure out tires, tune, everything else. So to throw in a new variable and take out the battery we run all year long for an 8K, which I think that would have been the place to do it, because I think you get away with a little bit lighter car, but the 10K is always our battery of choice. But next time going in there, yeah, definitely gonna try the 8K just to cut it. It's 100 grams lighter. I mean, 100 grams is 100 grams, especially on a track that's got tons of grip. Yeah, we probably could have picked up some more, but don't know how it's going to affect the overall setup of the car, right? You're used to having X amount of weight over the front of the car. Now is it going to turn into we're ripping big wheelies? Do we need to change the bar height? Stuff like that. So it's one of those. It was on the list, but there wasn't enough time to try the 8K there. So next year.
Always next year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. So, Zach, I'm going to have to ask you this question. I know we're getting a little late in time, but I'm going to ask you this question too. When we first came on, we talked about open prep and, cars getting stuck and people saying that we should go to one coated PJ1 or something like that. What's your thoughts on that?
It's kind of an unpopular opinion to some, because I had a few guys, talk to me and people that I respect as racers and their input and opinions, and they quizzed me about making the Hillbilly spec prep, and I said I'm not against it, guys. Like I'm really not. Like I'll run spec prep and stuff like that, but I'm a real big fan of outlaw being outlaw. Like I really like it, and I'm gonna tell you why. because 2 years ago when we started, we went to an outlaw race and we was like, why does everybody put this shit on their tire? And they're like, well, figure it out. So here I am. We figured it out, right? So now we want to go back. It's not, this is going to sound mean, but I'm a product of what they made me. I didn't make the mess in a sense. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
So
I know what you're saying.
I did what I was told to do. So now I'm not against spec. Like, don't come after me with pitchforks and everything, but I'm not against it. I'll race it. You'll see me racing at them. But I'm a big fan of outlaw being outlaw because that's what I jumped in, you know. So, and that's what everybody told me to, well, figure it out.
So do you think we could possibly see the times we saw this weekend at the Clash, with it being spec prep?
With it being spec prep at our track, I do. And, you know, JFab done his race in Texas, and they had some fast ETs there. Now, they was on exceptional surface also. So, you know, that was a concrete parking lot. Yeah, so, but like I say, it's all about racing the surface. You know, you're going to have some tracks that are 1-3 tracks. You're going to have some tracks that are bottom 40s, you know, and that's just the way it is. So I think it'll still be fast. I think the PJ on my track, I think about anything down there will be fast. But that's that track. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think anything's going to be fast down there. But you get enough people together. You know, we raced that spec prep race in March with Mike and them. They done a good job. Race was awesome. They still had to maintenance the line, but I will say they did use the pad that existed. That kind of created a whole nother scenario. Because there's a bunch of stuff already in that. So whatever on that, you know, it is what it is. But I wasn't mad at it. Like, I'll go back. Like I told Mike, I was like, do it again, I'll be back. I don't care, you know. So I just like to race. So, and that's my opinion is just that. It's my opinion, and that's just what I think. So if people want to do spec races, that's more power to them. I'm with it. I'll race them. You'll see me there, and I'll be a first round duck or win it. I don't know, one of the two. I'd rather go out first round and drink beer or win the thing. That's how I am. I don't want to go into the rounds. You know, I want to be with it or we ain't. You know, that's so. But either way, I'll be there.
Absolutely, I got you. So, you know, again, gentlemen, Ken, well, how are you on time?
I got nowhere to be.
Okay, all right. Just wanted to make sure because I thought Brian said you know. So I guess. Well, first, Brian, you have anything? I don't want to CC take over too much.
No, I've asked pretty much the tech questions that I know that he'll share.
He'll share is great.
He
said he was an open book. He's just not giving us his 132. Okay. That's all
you see
said.
how he just keep coming at you like that though, with that passive aggressiveness. I mean, it's just crazy how he does it.
But one thing I will say, hats off to the sponsors and to you guys that put that show on. It was nice.
It was really good.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was awesome.
I'll add something in on the spec prep stuff. Not ruffling no feathers or nothing, but I think on a local level, to grow local racing back, I think it's important. I think spec racing as a local scale is very important. Luke and them are doing it up there in Virginia, and it's working really good. So as a local group, I think so. I think it's important. Keeps everybody on the same playing field. You don't have to worry about somebody spunking it up or orange dreaming it up, whatever, you know, they're all called now. I think it's important if you're going to try to get new guys in. The big races are going to be that. The big races are going to be the big races. That's your diehards that are traveling to race anyway. So I think it's kind of tit for tat. If they want to be spec, I'll still be there. If they want to be outlaw, I'll still be there either way. I just want to race. So, but as your local scale, I think it's important to do spec. And I was actually talking to Mike Bush the other day, and I was like, man, we need to get together and grow the local scene because our local scene is like dry. Other than dry tire racing, like it's dead around here. Like our pro stock and dry tire stuff is still on, but that's it. Yeah, Travis Varner does his stuff in Charlotte. I run my few races on the top end of Shadyside, doing dry tire stuff. So, but next year I'm gonna try to get with some guys and have not like a series, but just me put on 3, they put on 3, and another person puts on 3, and it's all within 2 hours of here. And hopefully we can do, whether it's, I don't care what the spec is, it doesn't matter to me. But I think it would be important for local stuff. So,
Okay.
He said, "Well, I tell you, I swear, man,
see,
we got some diehards in this thing, man. They either about it or they are not, and it's like the spec prep versus open prep thing.
You're gonna have that. You're gonna have that.
I hate it, but
yeah, I mean,
I feel like if we made everything spec prep, we would lose a lot of people, because when you rule something to death, it kind of makes people go find something else to do. Outlaw is exactly outlaw because
what
it's
they say.
Yeah, it's like outlaw is supposed to be outlaw because it's like basically like 7-scale. Show up. There's only a couple rules really that matters, which is battery weight. Cool. Don't run anything that's not released. Cool. That is the point of outlaw. If we start spec racing everything, we're gonna lose a lot of our people.
Yeah, I agree. Run spec, local racing, absolutely. If that's what you gotta also ask yourself, where's most racing done, right? It's on the local level. That's where you're going to race more than anywhere. Every weekend, every other weekend, right? These big races are only X amount a year, right? 6, 7, and whatever it may be, right? So whatever does the best on the local level to get people racing, then do it, right? Spec prep, absolutely. When it comes to the big races,
That's
open prep, also, bring what you got and hope it's enough, right? And that's how it it should be, as far as I'm concerned.
That's what keeps racing alive, right? I mean, even on big scale, little scale, anything, like your local level racing is what keeps it alive. And like I try to tell some of our racers at Shadyside, I'm like, dude, you're what's keeping tracks and these manufacturers open. Like, these big things that are on TV are cool and all, and they're the hot shots. And and like I use the guitar store example. Like you go in and you see like this $100 guitar, right, or banjo or whatever it is, and it's like, oh man, I need to buy that to learn with. But you walk by a big old 1960 Gibson or a Les Paul sitting there that's like $2,700, and you're like, I'll be there one day, right? So it's like you got to have the drool factor, and then you got to have the stepping stone stuff. So, and then local racing can be just that. It can be the stepping stone for people to get their feet wet, and then they can go, man, you know what? I kind of got a handle on the PJ stuff, and I think I want to try the other stuff, because going from PJ to open, it's not a ton of difference, especially with line maintenance now. Like when I started 2 years ago, we didn't have line maintenance, and you want to talk about a mess.
Yeah. No, that's that's what it comes down to. Yeah, I mean, everybody wants to group all of it together in one pot, right? You can't do that. Local racing is local racing. Big stage racing is big stage racing. They're two different things, and everybody just throws it all together and puts a blanket over it. That's not how it should be. And on the local level, hey, do you want to make an open prep lane so guys can start testing and getting experience? Then that's what you start to do. But yeah, it's just not. This is throwing a blanket over everything and throwing it all together. It's not the right idea.
Yeah,
Okay.
I agree. It's hard to test for open prep too, though. Like it's tough, man. But I mean, everybody's at the same disadvantage, I guess, because that seems to be the consensus across the board. Everybody's like, it's so hard to test like a big race gets, like you can't imitate that racetrack. So other than going to those big races, man, and that's why I try to make as many as I can. And I test and test, and I rebuild the car on Friday nights till 2 or 3 in the morning, and then I beat the crap out of it on Saturday, and then I rebuild it before first round, so that way we can go rounds. But you just use your track time wisely when you do get a good racetrack. So just part of it.
Yeah, every time you go to one of these races, you pick up something and you take it with you to the next one.
Yeah. I don't keep a notebook or anything, and I should because I try a bunch of stuff. But usually go to a race. I'm wanting to try 2 or 3 different things, and most of the times it's a shock package, FDR, or I'm testing a different motor of some sort. And then I will try that, and then I'll try my stuff, and whatever kind of clicks, I'll take off with it. And then if it don't work, then I revert back to what I had, and then make sure I got my bass tuned, and then I'm good to go.
But you know what, though, Zach? It like you said, it is fun. You're learning, you go and trying different stuff. But you figure the last, not counting the hillbilly, but the last 3 races, it hasn't been fun for a lot of people because you got 2 bullies that's been going around cleaning up every freaking thing and not giving anybody else a chance. What fun is that?
I know, man.
I'm sorry. I have to get off.
I think that's good though.
Oh, there's one combo I hear.
Doesn't that make you want to go harder and test more?
Yeah.
And like put a bullet, like put a target on Ken's back and be like, I just hit bullseye. Like
For
doesn't
sure.
that make you want to go harder? Like when I got picked out that second round, I was like, wow, this is just my luck. But I was like, hey, if I'm the one to take Rick Talbot down, that'd be cool. If I'm not, I'll just do better next time.
Yeah, for me, right, it makes me want to just outdrive them and run them, right? Like just lay this combo on them, and like that way they know they were shut down from the get-go. That's just the racer mentality of me. And nothing like I have nothing against Ken or Rick. They're both great guys and great racers, but it's like you want to outrun them worse, especially when somebody's at their height. You would be like, oh yeah, that's the dude I got to outrun, So,
Well, that's that real racer mentality. That's what they're talking about, right? You have those who want, like when somebody, just like you said, Frank ran the 129. Next thing you know, everybody turned the car up. Everybody was like, we forget the race. Let me go get this 129. Let me get that first.
Somebody somewhere at all these races has to have a target on their back, right? So
yes,
it was no different than the year before. Rick won. I think he won some Gary Rowe races and won GLD and stuff like that. But we weren't winning a bunch of races, right? We were chasing other people, right? So eventually you'll go from chasing to being chased, right? And you hope that your time of being chased is as long as possible, right?
That's it.
But yeah, I mean, you're the same way. We're getting beat. Especially last year, we thought we should have won a lot of races last year, and we had just what we consider just horrible luck. Like just stupid little things bit us in the ass at every race where we like super chips. We feel like we should have won that one. A couple other races like Mommy and stuff, like we were fast, but it was always something stupid that cost us a race, right? Mm-hmm. And then we win GLD and we're doing good. And then we go to Vegas and we're like, yeah, we're riding high horse. Like we're running fast and we got our teeth kicked in Vegas. And Rick and we looked at each other like, man, we got to go back to the drawing board. Cause we just got our asses handed to us where we thought we were going to go in there and do some good. But yeah, there's sometimes a little reality check does a lot of good and going, hey, you think you're good, you better go do some more work because you're not good enough. So that's in every form, or any true racer who races the race, that's what it's about, right? Chasing the guy in front of you till you're in front of him. So
100%.
I've had people call the shop before and they'll actually like, yeah, I'm getting out of that class. I'm like, why? Do you see what they're running now? There's no way I can run those numbers. No way. I'm not going to spend the money to try to compete.
I think that's when you just reassure them and tell them to believe in themselves. I mean,
that's on them.
Yeah. I mean, you have to understand that, like, you might race like the fastest of the fast, like JFAM, Ken, Rick, all these fast people, but anything can happen when they're in the other lane. You are racing your car and their track. Like, you're racing the track, really and truly.
It's called racing for a reason. Anything can happen. Like, there's no guarantees in any of this. Like, I go up there in the baller or the high roller race and I'm like, okay, I got to race Frank Greer. Like, not ideal, right? He's clicking off 1-2s, like, and I'm just figured out how to get past the 136 and I'm getting closer, but I'm still like, shit, that's 300s, 400s. I'm off of him. Plus he's super good on the tree. And okay, I'm going to give it my best, and he goes out there and breaks a spur gear at the hit. I go on. Like that's racing, right? You don't know what's going to happen unless you line up and race, So, I mean, this year, you think about it, I mean, we won 3 races in a row. Rick did. I just showed up to try to beat him, but no, we had good races. But yeah, we had a lot of racing luck along the way, right? We didn't run into each other in eliminations till the very end. Last year, I don't know how many times Rick and I raced round 1, round 2, round 3, like early, where we couldn't avoid each other. This year, knock on wood, we've avoided each other somehow. Like it's racing luck that we've been able to do that. So, go up there and race, man. Anything can happen. You never know.
Yeah,
absolutely. That's like you said. That's why we do it. Just like them Cowboys almost beat them Eagles. Y'all saw that. I know y'all saw that.
Well, you know what motivated me in racing? This guy
James Goddard.
That guy right there.
Yep.
Was it? No, it was James Goddard. Don't even tell him story.
No, and SC Cody Offenbacher. He's the one who drove me. That's the guy that pushed me. That's why I went out and tested. It was all because of him. He pushed me in a positive way, of course.
Yeah.
He
Right.
pushed me because he raced my track all the time. He would win all the time. I was like, I got to do something about this. This is crazy.
And he's got a way of talking smack. Like he'll let you know he outrun you too. Like he's good, man. He's
one of the best.
Yeah, he one of the ones up there. Yeah, Brian. Hey, Cody, don't listen to Brian. Brian telling stories. It was James Goddard first. I'm gonna tell you the real story. It was James Goddard first. Actually, then it may have been you when he moved on. Because
I gotta give him his props. He helped me get on the DRC team. I'll give him his props. He did.
He said, "I miss y'all. You coming back soon?
No,
you coming back soon? Yeah, he will. All right, so I'm gonna ask y'all one last question. I'm gonna let y'all go.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Anthony.
No, I was gonna say that Cody just he recruiting everybody to come to 7 skill.
He is.
I was gonna ask Ken and Zach, what are your thoughts on the whole SC the foam tire movement that people?
That's what I was about to ask.
I'm so sorry, guys. I apologize. I'm sorry.
I don't know. I've never ran foam tires, so I really don't know. I've been rubber tire racing my whole career, so I don't know, honestly. That'd be more of a Ken question. I think he's ran some foam tire stuff, but not me.
Yeah, foam tire. I ran 3-cell top fuel, Pro Mod, Funny Car, all this stuff, IMDRA, RCDRL, the foam tire stuff for years, right? I mean, for 15 years. It's one of those things. I mean, I didn't catch the purpose of why people started going foam tire races. I mean, you put it this way, you're not going to get stuck at the line with a foam tire, right? So if that's your, way of getting around, I can't get off the line, so I'm going to go foam tire racing. To each his own, I guess. But you better bring a big wallet if you're going foam tire racing, because they wear out quick. One little misstep in the shutdown or anything else, and you take chunks out of tires. Man, foam tire racing is not cheap, right? Okay. You would be better off figuring out how to get off the starting line. Your wallet will thank you than going foam tire racing. I mean, I used to go to these races and I would have $600 in foam tires I would bring to one race to throw them away at the end of the weekend to race for a trophy and a ribbon. That was it. There was no money involved, right? So, foam tire there's nothing cheap about it. That's all I'll say.
I'll disagree. I'll disagree with you on that, Ken. Just been my thing. Dynotech tires are $35 a set. Yeah, you might not want to run that same set next race or whatnot, but they're only $35 compared to the set of tires I blew this weekend, which are $80 altogether. Foam wheel tire, like. Really and truly, overall, I feel like it's the exact same price.
Until, and I'll give you this caveat about foam tire racing, until somebody figures out a certain tire size and dimension that is the fastest, and they're willing to put a brand new set on every single pass. Yes. That is what foam tire racing on road racing, oval racing, and everything else has evolved too. When it might be okay now, but when one racer mentality figures out if I run this tire at this size and only this size, you're going to be in the same boat. New tires every run, right?
I mean, that's cheaper than blowing 5 ESCs. So, in my opinion, for me.
Well, I mean, then to me, it's like look at the root cause of why you're having that problem, right? And figure it out.
Yeah.
Right. I don't believe it. I'm just saying, hypothetically.
I'm just saying. I mean, that's my experience of foam tire racing. Like, no matter what it is, oval, on road, it sounds good at the beginning, and then it turns into one run tires. And the next thing you know, it's like, you're just going through tires after tires after tires. But who knows? I mean, it's not something I plan on jumping into or doing. If people want to do that, cool. To each his own. Just not something I'm, dipping my feet in the water on.
I got you. Yeah, foam. I mean, I agree with both sides. Foam tire racing. Once somebody figures out something and they got the money, they will do that, and then they'll take the tires and sell them off. I have plenty of people do that.
Mm-hmm.
They'll use them for 2 runs. Hey, those tires are for sale for $20. They brand new tires, and they'll get bought.
Yeah, I used to do it. I mean, I used to do it with my electric, the pro cars, as we call them, pro foam cars. I'd take a set of Top Fuel tires and I'd run Top Fuel. Then I'd get done with them, cut them down to run on my pro mod or funny car. And after that, I would cut them one more time and sell them to the nitro guys because they had plenty of life left for nitro guys, right? I mean, there's always a recycling plan somewhere out there for that stuff, but yeah, I don't know. It's like I said, I just think that, to me, when I look at the foundation of it, it's a Band-Aid for something else. Like, why did we need to do this? Just figure out if it's a sticking issue, let's figure out what the sticking issue, rather than making a subculture of something we already have that has lower numbers, right? It's one more thing to pull racers apart in different directions. That's just my thought.
Okay, and also with that, but that's like in a different. So you have the guys that run the 7 scale. Now you can take your car and move it over to a whole different class, pretty much, right? You could just take your car, move it over, drop 129s with it. I mean, it's 2 different race sets, is what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
You got your rubber tire guys over here, and yes, some people can't cut it. Some people are like, okay, I can't. This over here, I can't do. Okay, but this over here, I might have a shot at. And you just move your car over, and you can run some decent numbers. Now, again, I agree. Like I said, I just look at it from both sides. I look at it 2 different ways. Okay. You got all this money in your car and, you just can't keep up. It happens. There's going to be a lot of people that can't keep up, money wise, talent wise, race wise, but you still want them to have fun.
Yep.
So they can move over here.
Yeah. No, I mean, there's they said something for everybody. There's nothing wrong with that. If it's one of those you want to do, you can't, say hang in outlaw and you want to still do it. If you don't want to do dry tire and this is your cup of tea, then cool, then do it. I'm not a big fan of, splitting racing, trying to split racing up. It's one of those things. If it works for you, then cool. It's just something that I don't foresee me or, my company jumping into or anything along those lines. But if that option works for you, then hey, more power to you.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that foam is better than outlaw or anything like that. I'm just saying I like to race, and if there's a foam tire event over there and I can run my car that I already have and I'm not doing anything, might as well go test it out and see if I can learn something new. Because every time I go to the track, I learn 15 new things.
No, absolutely. Like I said, I just look at things and go, what's the reasoning for it and why did it start, right? If it's just because somebody wants to do something different, or it's, hey, we have sticking issues and this is our solution for it, I just look at it, well, I only fix this, sticking issues or blowing up ESC issue, but it's 50-50 hindsight on all that. So, but interesting for sure.
It is, and then we're going to go ahead and cut it. But like Brad said, here's one thing about it though. Even now, and I think CC can speak on this. The guys that, what is it, 2-wheel drive transmission or whatever?
Yes.
Then the SE guys came over and they automatically are running faster than they are. And now they're trying to split the classes off. They're like, we don't want you in the 2-wheel. We're going to make your own class.
But it's hard for them to do that because they preach no rules, bring what you brung. 2-wheel drive transmission, that's your only rule. Well, let's run them.
Yeah.
See? We'll see. Interesting though. Interesting stuff. All right. So guys, we're not going to take up any more of your time. We appreciate you guys coming on. We'll let you, since Ken, you already a sponsor, but we'll let you give your shout outs to everybody, teammates.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest shout out goes to all the customers. You guys weren't buying products and, letting us design stuff and put product out the door, we wouldn't get to do any of this. So, first and foremost, thanks to all the customers out there who buy from us, and yeah, we appreciate it.
Awesome. Zach.
Just thank y'all to everybody who came and raced at the Hillbilly. Go ahead and put in your calendars for 26. It'll be the same weekend. It's the weekend after Labor Day. That's when we'll do it. So I think, what date is that, Kayla? But we'll get into thanks to all the sponsors that came on board and made the Hillbilly possible. Luke's Hobby stepped up, took the title sponsor for us again this year. Awesome guy, awesome racer. Get anything you need from Luke's Hobbies. He's got tons of stuff, not just RC drag. He's got all kinds of goodies up there. And BBM Performance and Parts. Mike Bush, he can help you with whatever you need, parts or tuning advice or life advice, whatever you need. Mike's a good dude. He can help you out. Get Stuck, Jeff Zuck at Get Stuck Preps. He come on board, got the other lane sponsor for us and helped us out there. So thank you for coming on board. And Shark RC Bodies, he gave some bodies to give away. Steve Rule from Broke Dads, and Pinky Tune with some batteries and servos to give away also. Eric Thompson from Fat Boy Racing gave some body braces. The Webbs have come done the live, which is Honcho RC Live. And Big Knee was there doing breakfast sandwiches. So thank you to all you guys that came, and most importantly, the racers that come and support it. So, but that's like I say, just put it down your calendar for next year, and we'll be there. So.
Awesome.
Can we check the weather ahead of time this time, or?
Okay.
Well, the good thing is, I don't think it can get worse. So I don't know.
Well, which one of y'all are going to build the indoor
don't speak
facility?
that into existence.
Yeah.
True. I actually talked with Lucas down there during the rain after I was soaked and took my shoes off and was all barefooted. I told him, I said, Luke, all I need is like maybe $750,000 and we can go to Shadyside. And he said, yeah, I'll just write the check now. And I'm like, yeah, you just leave it with me. You tell me when to cash it, okay? I can wait till Monday if I need. He's like, yeah. So, but I think that would get it, and I could do a lot of work myself. I can hang lights and stuff. I know how to do electrical work and, tighten bolts up. And
if you need $750,000, you need to talk to that man in that hat right there.
And the other guy up top, Brian, need to talk
to
him.
The guy on top of him, the guy that just threw somebody else under the bus.
Yeah, that guy. That's who you need to talk
to. A hit dog or holler.
Every time. Yeah. All right. Well, gentlemen, thank y'all so much for coming on. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks.
We really do.
All right, take care.
I can already tell we hit some record numbers tonight, guys. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks for finally coming out your shell, Ken. We've been waiting for you to come on for a while.
Yeah,
That's because he running around bludgeoning people right there. Him and Rick just running across the country.
I had to get him when he was in a happy, goofy mood after he ate a cake ball. Then I was like, perfect timing. There we go.
Those were good. Those were good cake balls.
Them cake balls do it
They were good.
So we got CC and the cake balls to thank.
Yeah. Found my weakness. Red velvet cake balls. That's the trick.
Tell him.
Good.
That's
I need
low.
to get her to send me some. Hey, Kayla, can you get them to
Thank you,
send me
Kayla.
some cake balls? I'll pay for them.
I'll talk to Sandy and see what she'll do.
Yeah,
She
tell her I
probably-
need them red velvet ones. Ship them to me in the box.
Y'all need the
It
Oreo.
doesn't matter.
Oreo's where it's at.
Yeah, I need those too. Oreo and
Just
red
ship them to
velvet.
my house and I'll give them to Drew.
Nope.
All right.
Nope.
I
I'll
gotta
never
ship
see
him
them.
through, 'cause I gotta ship him a straw.
Not that straw. Not that straw, fam. Y'all keep that one. Hey, look, I still got the candy Lenny gave me.
Do you?
Yeah, I still got that.
Oh.
Yeah, y'all guys are funny.
Great show, guys. 10 out of 10.
Yeah. Thank you.
Appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good one now.
All right, guys.
Take care.
I'm winded.